Well, we just heard from FBI Director Comey, and let me just say this. I think I speak on behalf of a lot of you out there. The FBI decision is sickening, but not surprising. Scotty Hughes here with RedAlerts.com, and I'm actually broadcasting right now live from my daughter's bedroom floor. Why? Because like most working moms, we have 2 or 3 jobs going on, and I have got my little biscuit, as I call her. It has the stomach bug and the stomach flu. So I'm getting to pull triple duty. And of course, we have, much to, I think, the majority of our surprise, that this Comey release came today. Now, we knew on Saturday we had heard this 3.5 hour meeting that Hillary Clinton had, which immediately afterwards there was these leaks that came out. Now, I have to tell you, the 2 departments I don't want to hear a leak from is the Department of Justice and the FBI. But that's okay. We can deal with that down the road. FBI, Department of Justice leak out that they don't think anything is going to happen. The next day, it's announced that President Obama is going to tour this week in North Carolina with Hillary Clinton. Now, if you think that there was going to be a release that she had done some sort of wrongdoing, which we can get to that in a minute, you can be guaranteed President Obama would not be sitting here with the photo op of her going on Air Force One. Yet, guess what? She's went on Air Force One. Okay, so let's actually get to what we're dealing with today, okay? Are the Clintons, has any of you guys ever watched House of Cards? Yeah, that's what I'm starting to kind of feel like this is. It's kind of like the Francis and Claire Underwood. And if you listen to that story, if you've ever watched House of Cards, you go, man, this seems a lot familiar. Well, I think it does. Did we ever thought, now my question is, do they have something on James Comey? Do they have something that bought him off? I mean, we've already heard the New York Times has announced that Loretta Lynch, Hillary Clinton told her that she might consider keeping her in office as Attorney General if she's elected president, which, by the way, that's called bribery, but that's my own thing. Now, the thing about Comey is he has allowed them great latitude that no one else would be allowed. You or I, we'd be in jail right now. We would have thousands upon thousands of dollars in legal fees. We would be in so much trouble. Yet, Hillary Clinton is not. It just strikes at this idea of institutional corruption at the highest levels. It proves there is one standard for the Clintons and those elites in Washington, D.C., and then there's a standard for the rest of us. Because once we even know and can confirm that there is something wrong, that there is some guilt that has been done, it doesn't matter because politicians are going to be corrupt enough to cover each other. Comey admits that the laws were broken and security was compromised, but yet he lets her off the hook. This is why Donald Trump says the system is broken and that it is rigged. It makes no sense. They can logically make the conclusion there was no intent to circumvent the law. The mere fact that she had a private server is intent. We have a problem with 2 things in Washington, D.C. right now: integrity and character. Our institutions are lacking both, and they are so full of corruption, and events like today just confirm that. Comey should have taken a stand and recommended changes and charges. He then could have resigned once the Justice Department refused, saying, look, I tried, wash my hands, I tried to do things right. It is Loretta Lynch who's saying no. He knows better. And to quote one of my favorites, you have Edmund Burke who says, evil thrive when good men do nothing. So let's get into specifics of what we actually talked about today. I actually have a copy of the transcript of what Comey said. And let me point this out. He said, our investigation looked at whether there is evidence that classified information was improperly stored or transmitted on that personal system in violation, blah, blah, blah. Okay, making a misdemeanor to knowingly remove classified information from appropriate systems or storage facilities. Later goes on the next page and says, for example, 7 email chains concerning matters that were classified at the top secret special access program at the time that were sent and received. Those chains involved Secretary Clinton both sending emails about those matters and receiving emails about those same matters. Wait a minute. Didn't he start off by saying what his investigation was to see whether there is evidence that classified information was improperly stored or transmitted on that personal system? And then later on says 7 email chains concerning matters that were classified at the time they were sent and received? That right there. He just sat there and countered himself within his own speech. You wonder why there's such outrage. You wonder why you're seeing everybody across the board. Now, let's also go back to some comments here. The other idea is, did she actually know? Let me point this out. She was Secretary of State. If she did not realize the risk in the technology she was using, including a BlackBerry, then she does not need to be Secretary of State. But what I find interesting is I went back and I looked at some old quotes that she had, whether or not she knew. I mean, do you think she knew that what she was doing was wrong? Heck yeah, she knew. She was called out for doing it. And here's where the real guilt goes. If you receive an email and you work for the government, I don't even work for the government, but if I get an email from somebody and I notice it's got that government.org at the end of it, I know there's a potential chance that email could be read by somebody else. Well, guess what? I know I, being a citizen, thinks that. I can only imagine what somebody other does. So I look at this quote right now, and I remember her saying, her point was the system was set up for President Clinton's office and it has numerous safeguards. It was on property guarded by Secret Service and there were no security breaches. Okay, there were no security breaches. Yet today we're having WikiLeaks and we're having all these other emails coming out. The Russians claiming they have emails. Heck, I think even my son has been able to get emails off this server at this point. But what's funny, and let me look at this here. Let me make sure I get the right quotes in front of me. As Clinton said, in the fall, I think it was October last year, the State Department sent a letter to previous secretaries of state asking for help with record keeping. And they asked all of us to go through emails, determine what was work related and to provide that for them. Okay, that was the report. Where's my other email? Hold on. This is what happens when I have too many things going on here. We look at, she time and time again admitted that she knew that she had this server and she knew it was wrong and she was questioned by Huma Abedin. Oh, there we go. What I did was allowed. It was allowed by the State Department. The State Department has confirmed that. She told the AP in last September. Lie. Lie, lie, lie. The report is no evidence that Clinton asked for or received approval to conduct his official government business on a personal email account run through, most importantly, a private server. It is a lie. She also said in that same interview, it was fully above board. Everybody in the government with whom I emailed knew that I was using a personal email. Yeah, that's true. So shame on those people that got those emails. That shows that they are just as guilty. Hence why I think this all came down. Because if there was a prosecution of this, guess who might be the first person called up on that stand? As my friend Judge Janine said, President Obama, as he definitely got one of those emails as well. Listen. She might have lost, or she might have won in this idea of the court, and the ideas of the courts and the rule of the law. But I think she's going to lose in the court of public opinion on this one. I mean, the verdict will be in November. We will definitely see. And the question is, did she intend to violate the law? Like I said, the second she set up that server, it was obvious. 7 email chains, top secret. We will never know the extent of this. But that is why right now we need to expose the corruption in D.C. And frankly, at this point, get them all out. I am done with all of this. Because when we have hard proof coming from the FBI director's voice, when you see his actual words being countered within his own statement and they have yet to prosecute, you know the system is dirty. Send me your questions, ScottyHughesWriteAlerts.com. Lots of great things going on right now. I think everybody's calling bull. I don't care if you're a Republican or Democrat. And you're going to see here, this is what's going to be disgusting. You're going to see on all of these news channels, these pundits somehow justify and say, look, see, she did nothing wrong. They are going to use this to validate themselves and become even more obnoxious than ever. No, that's not right. That's, you could understand that they're going to sit there. The damage has been done. And this is why we need to continue this idea, this narrative that she is lying, that this whole thing is corrupt, that whatever kept Comey from saying anything, we need to expose it. We need to continue. And that's why they all need to go. The FBI is afraid they'll end up dead. I mean, let's look at the history of the track record of the Clintons. People that go against them don't necessarily end up, invited to their next birthday party. So, this is what you get when you have Clintons. You can look at what type of presidency would be underneath them. I don't want to sit there and give Barack Obama any credit. We didn't know what we were getting into with them. We knew that our thing with Barack Obama was that it was going to be more ignorance. He didn't know what to do. He didn't have any legislative background. He didn't have any background. He didn't have any success. So we figured our danger was going to come from his lack of knowledge. The real danger comes from someone who knows what she's doing. This is blatant, outright, knows what she's doing to hurt, endanger Americans, endanger our security. And she smiled today and said, guess what, guys? I was right. I did nothing wrong. Talk about an evil laugh. There you go. Scotty Hughes, rightalerts.com. Stay with us. I will be back tomorrow. I'm on Wolf Blitzer tonight. And let's just see. I want you to tell me, what do you think these media folks are going to do over the next 24 hours? Are we going to have more tinkles up people's legs? Are we actually are they actually going to call out the BS on this and say this is why the system is broken? You guys have a great post-Independence Day. I'm going to get back to my little biscuit in there. And thanks for watching, and thanks for being great Americans. Talk to you later.